Video. Let us see June 15th, 2022 newspaper Indian Express. First article is related to major shift in soldier recruitment for stint under Agnipath. Enabling Agnipath, a major defense policy reform for recruitment of soldiers, sailors, airmen to Indian Army, Navy and Air Force. Government announced that personnel recruited under the scheme on short-term contract basis will be called Agniveers. The scheme will help cut the rising salary and pension bills of the armed forces. This has been a major worry for government over the years. Continuation of the article is below. Let us see that in page number 14.8. Page number 6. This article talks about that's all. It's all about Agnipath. Next article is about I2U2 summit. India, Israel, US, UAE are the I2U2 summit next month. US President Joe Biden will host a virtual summit with Narendra Modi, Prime Minister, Israel Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, and UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan during his visit to West Asia. Next article is related to 10 lakh government jobs in mission mode in 18 months. PMO, with the young youth unemployment rate in cities hovering about 20%, the government Tuesday announced it would recruit 10 lakh in mission mode over the next 1.5 years. PMO said Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviewed the status of human resource in all departments and ministries. The continuation of the article about I2U2 is I for India, I for India Israel, U for US UAE. The visit will also focus on Israel's increasing integration into the region, both through Abraham Accord with UAE, Morocco and Bahrain. Next article is about IT flagged misreporting of 1.06 crore black money. SIT judge opted for amnesty scheme. Income tax department for allegedly misreporting his income for 2017-18 to the extent of rupees 1.06 crore. The scheme mounted after the introduction of Direct Tax Vishwas Act 2020 was extended to 2021 is simply called VSV scheme. Its short title describes it as a scheme for resolution of disputed tax, and its section 6 elaborates that those who avail of it get immunity from the proceedings in respect of the offence. The tax calculated as per the formula: 30% additional tax added to the income, that is 31.94 lakh, 15% of additional surcharge, that is 4.79 lakh, and 3% of education and higher educational cess, 1.10 lakh, and interest under section 234. This is what all about. Next article is according to quarterly bulletin periodic labor force survey released by Union Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, the youth unemployment rate according to the weekly status stood at 20.8% in urban, and on October to December 2021. Next article is related to phase 1 of Greenfield Airport in Duraisamy gets CCEA node. What is CCEA? CCEA is a Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs on Tuesday approved the proposal for the development of phase 1 of Greenfield Airport at Dholera, Gujarat. Estimated cost is 1,305 crore within 48 months. The project being implemented by Dholera International Airport Company Limited, which is a joint venture company comprising Airport Authority of India, the Government of Gujarat, and National Industrial Corridor Development and Implementation Trust, all holding equity in the ratio of 51:33:16 ratio. Next article that we are moving into is related to why it can help cut the rising salary pension bill. Agnipath scheme on recruitment of soldiers, sailors, and airmen will cut the salary and pension bills of armed force. For the years, because of the pension bill, the revenue component of the Ministry of Defence has been larger than the capital outlay for modernization of armed force. The initial proposal had considered 3-year model. The calculation carried in the proposal mentioned that the comparison of the cost incurred by government of Chippa with 17-year terms of engagement as compared to tour of duty. Okay. Force of change. Agnipath will lead to leaner military savings and pension, but these are challenged beyond the bold step forward. The changes in the recruitment policy of non-officer personnel to the armed force are a radical shift for an institution whose employment traditions have remained static for decades. These recruits will be hired on contract at a minimum age of 17.5 years and will serve for 4 years. Including a 6-month training period. At the end of the 4-year period, they will get off with a lump sum package and assurance of bank loan to get them an alternative career with only 25% of every batch rehired to serve for the long period of 15 years. The recruitment will be all India, all class, that is, it will not restricted by ethnicity or caste. The regiment introduced by British colonizer as an organizational measure are being thrown open to all new recruits, irrespective of their state, mother tongue or caste. With a new form of warfare, including use of cyber tech and artificial intelligence and new weaponry that may cut down the number of boots on the ground, there is an emphasis on leaner but better equipped militaries. With a clear and present threat on its northern border, a hostile neighbor to its west, India's military minds believe that two-front danger is increasingly real one. The main question about the new policy then is this: does it have a potential to create a better trained or more committed fight force for India? More immediately, when the recruitment begins under the new policy in September, the response will show to what extent the absence of a pension act as a spoiler. Next article that we are moving into is related to RBI's misdiagnosis. What it is all about: central bank have it easy when inflation is low because then they can provide ample liquidity at low interest rates. The pleasing the nation's borrower, their mettle is tested only when inflation rises, require them to take unpopular measures. So far, RBI has been failing this test, that too on its core mandate. Start with the data. Recent upsurge in the food and fuel price has given the impression that India had simply been a victim of global circumstances, a casualty of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But India's inflation problem began long before the war started. Yet for the most of this period, RBI did not react at all. If US Fed and European Central Bank has been behind the curve. The RBI has a mandate to keep the inflation at 4%. Its forecast and the policy stance are reviewed and approved by Monetary Policy Committee. To begin with, the RBI's mandate was ignored. Central Bank was given one major task, curbing inflation, with the secondary objective of promoting the growth as well as inflation remained under control. But the RBI acted as if it had 3 additional objectives. One, it tried to temper the decline in rupees, selling a large portion of its foreign exchange reserve, that is exchange rate targeting. Second, it tried to keep the interest rate of the government securities low, purchasing large amount of G6 to help the government finance its fiscal deficit, that is fiscal dominance. Then 3, it tried to pay ample dividends to the government, the fiscal dominance with an Indian twist. For example, when RBI sells foreign exchange, it can declare profit on the valuation gain. Regardless, the failure truly matters for several reasons. High inflation has many costs, but a particular serious one is that it is tax on the poor. The workers in the informal sector, unlike their formal sector counterpart, will not receive automatic wage increase, nor will they receive a significant ad hoc increase. because small scale producers don't have sufficient funds to do so, especially after the shock of demonetization, GST, and COVID. Consequently, the workers' real wage will fall, and they will be forced to consume less. That is why politicians used to fear the electoral consequence of high inflation. Another reason why these failures matter is that they raise worrisome questions about the institutional integrity and competence. Institutional dependence, and to be sure, does not mean that institution cannot work cooperatively with the government in power. There is a little virtue in the independence that creates ongoing conflict. But now the pendulum has swung in the other direction, jeopardizing independence and integrity. Institutions, especially those as important as deservedly respected as the RBI, cannot become more extension of the government. Let us continue the next article in the next video. If you like the video, please do share, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.